This is 4 agents inside Claude Code running a brainstorming meeting for me. Each one has a different job. The optimist finds what could work, the devil's advocate finds what breaks, the realist reports what's actually happening, and the contrarian argues for the angle nobody else is considering. They all read the same problem, they each produce an opening position, they read each other's outputs, they challenge each other's claims, and finally come back with a well-researched result. One prompt is all it takes to kick this off. But by the end, you'll have a strategy brief that a 2-hour meeting would struggle to produce. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can build this. Claude Code's Agent Teams feature is the secret sauce. It lets you coordinate multiple instances working together as a team with shared tasks, inter-agent messaging, and centralized management. So the key difference between sub-agents and agent teams is that with sub-agents, the main agent will spawn specific sub-agents, but each agent is in a silo. It has its own context and it doesn't know what the other agent is doing. With agent teams, the main agent creates a list of tasks, and that task list is shared with all teammates. Each teammate can claim a task, and the teammate communicates not only with the team lead, but also with the other teammates, making the outputs that much more powerful. Because instead of working independently and not knowing what the other agent is doing until the main agent finally has to sort through everything, all of that processing is done at the bottom level. So by the time you get an output to the main agent, everything is already processed and agreed upon. Think about the last time you had a real strategic decision to make in your business. Not a simple one, a real one, where there were genuine arguments from multiple directions, real risks on each side, and the wrong call had consequences. So, what would you do? You probably got the right people in a room and went back and forth. Someone played devil's advocate, somebody grounded it in reality, and eventually you landed somewhere. That process works, but it's slow, it's expensive, and it only happens when everyone can get in a room at the same time. This agent team replicates that process. We're going to give it a real business problem, real context, and it generates the debate, multiple perspectives, pushback, and a synthesized recommendation in minutes. Quick bit of context if you're new here. My name is Shub, and I build AI automations for professional service businesses. I document everything that I build on this channel. If you want hands-on help implementing this stuff in your own business, I run AI Incubator Pro. There's more details in the description. Now, let's get to it. We have a firm called Vantage PR, a fictional but realistic boutique tech agency based in Austin. And 3 of their existing clients, all Series B SaaS companies, have recently expanded into Europe and are asking Vantage to manage their European press and communications. This is the problem that we're feeding in for this tutorial. Follow along with your own business problem if you have one. The prompt structure works for any strategic decision. To run agents in parallel and actually see everything that's going on, you need to install tmux, a terminal multiplexer that lets you run multiple terminal sessions side by side in one window. Each agent gets its own pane. So if you don't have it, it's 2 steps to install. Number 1, we are going to install Homebrew by copying this and pasting it in. Hit enter. Enter your password if prompted, confirm, and just let it download. Homebrew is basically a package manager that lets you install other applications onto your Mac. Next up, we are going to install tmux by heading to the GitHub page and grabbing the Homebrew command, brew install tmux. Copy, come back to the terminal, paste, and hit enter. So I already have it installed, which is why I'm getting this warning that it's already installed and up to date. If you're doing it new, it's going to take a couple of minutes and it will give you a confirmation. Now, in order to run teams of Claude Code sessions, we are going to have to add this flag to our settings.json file. We can do that by navigating to the home folder in the terminal and running this command. What this command does is it's going to find or create this file and replace the contents of that file with everything that's over here. So we are going to enable Claude Code experimental agent teams. One means enabled. We're going to set the model to Opus. And under preferences, we are going to make sure that tmux split panes is true. So let's copy this, and I'll leave a link in the description to all of these commands so you don't have to worry. Come back to the terminal and hit paste. Let's hit enter, and we'll see that the file has indeed been updated, and we can actually go ahead and confirm that by just grabbing this, hitting copy, and typing in nano, and then paste, and we'll see that the file is indeed updated. Perfect. I'm going to hit Control X to come out. And finally, to use tmux in our Claude Code session, we are going to fire up a new tmux session, and we're going to call it Claude Work. Copy this, come back to the terminal, hit paste, hit enter, and we'll see that we now have a little green line at the bottom, which means our tmux session is running. Before I keep going, quick note, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, you're actually in the majority. Most people watching right now aren't subscribers, which means YouTube probably won't show you the next video I put up. If you want to keep building on this, hit subscribe. I post practical builds every week. Now it's time to fire up Claude Code. So I'm going to go to the desktop, make a new directory called Vantage, navigate into that directory, and I'm going to fire up Claude by typing in Claude -- dangerously skip permissions. This flag is just going to make sure that Claude doesn't have to keep asking me before taking every little step, and it's just going to do everything automatically. Since we're working inside a new folder, the area for damage is fairly limited, so it's safe to do it. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to confirm the warning, and that is going to fire up our Claude session. Now I'm running Claude Opus 4.6, which is important. And now we can go ahead and drop in that prompt. This one prompt is going to kick the entire meeting off. Let me walk you through the structure. So we have a little bit of an introduction as to what the issue is. And then we have the strategic question, which is very specific and answerable, the exact decision that needs to be made. Then we have an explicit command to Claude Code to spawn an agent team to research and discuss this amongst themselves and come to a strategic decision. And finally, we have agent personas. You can let Claude Code decide this for itself, but if you have a very specific viewpoint or viewpoints that you want handled, then you can actually define the agents and their roles themselves. Once we drop this prompt into Claude, it's going to spin up all of the agents, have all the agents discuss amongst themselves, and finally give us an output. And while the discussion is going on, we'll be able to see everything happening live. So let's go ahead and drop in the prompt, hit enter, and let Claude Code do its thing. Right? Let me first load the team management tools. Perfect. And you'll know that it's working when it actually creates tasks instead of individual agents. You'll also see that some tasks are blocked by others because all of these have to do their thing before this agent can actually do anything. And now that our team is running, we have the split panes with all of the separate agents doing their things. So we have the optimist, we have the market realist, we have the devil's advocate, and we also have the contrarian. Now, all of these agents are working in parallel. You can see what each one is doing. This guy is searching the web. This guy's already doing his analysis. This guy is doing a contrarian analysis. And you'll see that the orchestrator agent is actually going to keep tabs on everything that's going on. So you'll see what each agent is doing, what its role is, what the status is. And you can follow along with the meeting by everything that's going on over here. Now, if for some reason you wanted to add some instructions in between, you could simply go into any of these panes, type in some instructions, hit enter, and while these agents are working, you can actually feed them additional instructions, which is why this is such a powerful feature. And just a word of warning, this will use up quite a lot of credits, but to put things into perspective, the money that you'll save, the time that you'll save by eliminating 1, 2, 3 hour long meetings and doing all of that work well researched and synthesized in less than 10 minutes is going to be more than worth it. So we're getting more updates. The contrarian has completed their analysis and sent it to the synthesizer. We have their take as well, and we're still waiting on the other agents to finish their analyses. Right, so the devil's advocate is also done. 3 of 4 analysts are complete, just waiting on the market realist, and then the synthesizer can begin collating everything. So all 4 analysts are done. And we're now just waiting on the synthesizer to work on the final strategic document. And now that the meeting is done, the orchestrator is shutting down the team. As each agent is shut down, the pane disappears. And finally, we have our whole analysis, complete with an executive summary, the opportunity drawing from the optimist, the risk drawing from the devil's advocate. And you'll notice that the devil's advocate has some real insights where Europe is not one market, for example. All of these markets have distinct media ecosystems, language requirements, cultural norms, etc. So you'll notice that the analysis is actually really spot on. Market reality, drawing from the realist, unconventional alternatives, drawing from the contrarian, points of agreement, where despite all of the different frames, all four perspectives converge on several critical points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Key tensions. And finally, strategic recommendations. So the final verdict is that yes, this PR firm should pursue European analysis, but not the way anyone is framing it. And it's also split it up into multiple phases. Phase 1, phase 2, months 7 to 12, and then finally kill criteria, which are non-negotiable milestones, and what would change this recommendation. So we have a specific time-bound and defensible analysis based on everything that was said in the debate. And all in all, this took less than 10 minutes. Now, the reason this works is because of the architecture. We're not asking one agent to think about everything. We're forcing genuine perspective diversity by giving each agent a fundamentally different lens and actually having each agent discuss with the other. Then finally, we have a synthesizer agent make sense of the debate. That's what a good brainstorming meeting actually is, right? Except this one can run at 3 a.m., takes less than 10 minutes, and nobody has to be there. If you want to build more of these agent teams that replace real business workflows using Claude Code, that's what we help you do inside AI Incubator Pro. The link is in the description.